Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
So how was your weekend? Uneventful, I think, for most everybody. Just uneventful weekend.
Nothing going on, really.
If there was only one thing that kind of stood out, it would make it a lot easier to know really where to start on the day, you know? Big enough weekend that even Jeffy has joined us on a Monday.
Oh, my goodness.
How about that? So we did, in fact, obviously, you've heard by now, strike Iran and hit them fairly hard. They dropped 14 of the massive ordnance penetrators on the various sites. I think they only dropped those on 2 sites. One was the Fordo, and the other was Natanz, I think. And so, obliterated has been one of the words used. Certainly, we're never going to hear from the Iranians. Well, yeah, they took out everything. Yeah, we're dead in the water now. Yeah, they're never going to tell the truth.
Operation Midnight Hammer.
Yeah, and they're going to downplay it, obviously, and say that very little damage was done.
Of course.
But you can see from the satellite photos that the mountain that looked a lot different on Friday than it did after Saturday.
It did.
So hopefully we got to everything, but who knows? Who knows? Iran has threatened now to close the Straits of Hormuz, which would be very, very bad. But the thing is, with that, if you're going to mine the Strait of Hormuz or, I don't know, patrol it with your Navy, you're running into China there as well as every other country on the face of the planet. You know, 84% of Asia's oil goes through there.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is Chinese.
Half of China's comes from there, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, 20% of the entire world's oil goes through there. Nobody's going to be happy if they do that, if they try to do that. And I don't think we'd allow it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they care about other people being happy, but
well, they're going to have to because other people will come down on them.
Very hard.
Yeah, it won't be just us at that point.
And really, I mean, we can, as far as the oil goes, and other products as well. But as far as the oil goes, I mean, we can tell them we've got our own oil. Have a nice day.
We
get
5%?
very little.
Yeah.
Not much.
And I'm not so much
weaned ourselves of Middle Eastern oil a long time ago.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's more of how the market's going to react as opposed to what is Iran really going to do? Because if a butterfly sneezes in the Atlantic, the price of a barrel spikes. So I'd rather them not have any excuses here.
So Brent crude oil already jumped 3.9% to $80 a barrel on Sunday. U.S. crude went up 4.3% to $77 per barrel.
Yeah.
So,
and Marco Rubio has already signaled to China, hey, maybe you want to take care of the Hormuz.
Right.
Because this affects you more, so we'll see.
And they're basically a client state of yours, so maybe maybe you want to rein them in just a little bit. Wow.
And plus, I mean, we have the big NATO meeting that they're all meeting
tomorrow, right?
Starting today, right? That'll be good.
Thought it was Tuesday. You might be right.
All right.
It's soon. It's this week.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm confused. Which is it? Is it today or is it tomorrow? Now I have no idea. And it's just thrown my day completely out of whack.
I believe
I'm completely off kilter now. So the president posted this on Truth Social. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There's not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I love it.
I think they had to pay attention to it. Just a little bit.
A mostly peaceful protest against Iran's nuclear facilities.
Right. Completely peaceful as far as civilians. I mean, we're just hitting those military sites.
Yes.
So kept it pretty darn limited. They dropped 6 bunker buster bombs on Fordo and then must have dropped 8 on the other site. Marks the first time, according to this article, this is the first time that the U.S. has used the 15-ton GBU-57 bunker buster bombs in anger. Did we use them joyfully on someone before this point?
Guess so.
What a weird way to put it. It's just the first time we used them in anger. I think what they're trying to say is the first time we've used them in a military way. We've tested them, but they've never been used in any kind of combat. So until now, and we were wondering how they're going to work. And I think we got a pretty good indication.
Yes.
So
yes, we did.
Yeah. There was also a follow-up post from President Trump. Any retaliation by Iran against the United States of America will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. Thank you, Donald Trump, President of the United States. He's taken to do this little, kind of this cute little ending
I know.
at the
so you know it's
bottom
from me.
of all these.
Just from you know it's me.
And he addressed the nation late Saturday night. This was like
yes, he did.
10 o'clock or so.
So weird because I spent, I don't know, Saturday afternoon. I'm like, I'm not going to watch the news. I'm just going to take it off. I'm going to, I'm going to watch my shows. I'm just going to do some stuff around the house. I'm not going to watch the news. I'm not going to watch the news. Wait, what?
Yep. So here's part of what he had to say on Saturday night.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East, God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, thank you.
I mean, that's a heck of a team.
Yeah, it is.
You look at that snapshot there with J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth behind them. That's a powerful team.
Yes, it is. Yep, they know I think they know what they're doing. He mentioned Netanyahu and the partnership there. It was interesting what he said after the attacks. He said, your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. The U.S. has done no other country on earth could do. One of the reasons I like this guy. I like him. You know, he's really familiar with the United States. I mean, he graduated from college here. He went to Harvard. He went to MIT. He was in business here. The guy knows and loves the United States, and it's nice. That's nice in an ally when you've got a friend and somebody who really likes. And he and Trump have been friends since the 80s. So it's just a good partnership, you know. On Sunday morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth spoke from the Pentagon.
Last night, on President Trump's orders, U.S. Central Command conducted a precision strike in the middle of the night against 3 nuclear facilities in Iran, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, in order to destroy or severely degrade Iran's nuclear program. And as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs will demonstrate, it was an incredible and overwhelming success. The order we received from our commander-in-chief was focused, it was powerful, and it was clear. We devastated the Iranian nuclear program. But it's worth noting the operation did not target Iranian troops or the Iranian people. For the entirety of his time in office, President Trump has consistently stated for over 10 years that Iran must not get a nuclear weapon. Full stop. Thanks to President Trump's bold and visionary leadership and his commitment to peace through strength, Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated. Many presidents have dreamed of delivering the final blow to Iran's nuclear program, and none could until President Trump.
He had more to say on the topic as well.
I think Tehran is certainly calculating the reality that planes flew from the middle of America and Missouri overnight, completely undetected, over 3 of their most highly sensitive sites, and we were able to destroy nuclear capabilities. And our boys in those bombers are on their way home right now. We believe that'll have a clear psychological impact on how they view the future, and we certainly hope they take the path of negotiated peace.
Should have that effect.
Could we stop saying they come from Missouri?
Why?
I think we all know. I don't know. It just makes me say they come from Ottawa or something.
Well, they did come from Missouri.
I know.
They came from an air base in Missouri.
I know that, and we know that. We don't need to keep promoting that.
We don't need to make them a target if the sleeper cells are lurking.
Say they came from Ottawa or something.
I think I think whatever is going to happen is going to happen.
I think so too.
Regardless. Russia says that Iran was in fact developing nukes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting support from the Russians. I think that's pretty telling that it was necessary, pretty necessary. Yeah. And they're saying that there are other nations. Russia is saying that other nations want to provide them with nuclear warheads.
Right.
Who would want to do that?
I don't know.
Pakistan, North Korea, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, many of the countries that you'd think would be loud are not.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to lead me to believe that
everybody's happy with what we. Everybody's glad we did it. Yep. Russia didn't take this step. China didn't take the step. Somebody had to. I mean, if everybody agrees that Iran, who is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, can't have a nuclear weapon, and but they know we're the only ones that are going to do anything about it. Everybody else just sits back and hopes, I guess.
We want to love them because we want their oil.
Yeah.
With the other countries, I mean, not us.
Right.
And
we get I don't think we get any Iranian oil.
Okay, but I'm just saying, obviously we've talked about how much they provide for the world, and that's the only reason that anybody plays ball with them.
Yep. Yeah. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, detailed the operation for the press yesterday.
As the strike package approached Fordo and Natanz, the U.S. protection package employed high-speed suppression weapons to ensure safe passage of the strike package, with fighter assets employing preemptive suppressing fires against any potential Iranian surface-to-air threats. We are currently unaware of any shots fired at the U.S. strike package on the way in. At approximately 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2:10 a.m. Iran time, the lead B-2 dropped 2 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator weapons on the first of several aim points at Fordo. As the president stated last night, the remaining bombers then hit their targets as well, with a total of 14 MOPs dropped against 2 nuclear target areas. All 3 Iranian nuclear infrastructure targets were struck between 6:40 p.m. and 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's about 2:10 in the morning local time in Iran, with the Tomahawk missiles being the last to strike at Esfahan to ensure we retain the element of surprise throughout the operation.
Just a little, take that with you.
Following weapons release, the Midnight Hammer strike package exited Iranian airspace and the package began its return home. We are unaware of any shots fired at the package on the way out.
On the way
Iran's
out,
fighters did not fly, and it appears that Iran's surface-to-air missile systems did not see us. Throughout the mission, we retained the element of surprise. In total, U.S. forces employed approximately 75 precision-guided weapons during this operation. This
Pause it for a second. I mean, this is really an important issue, that they didn't even fire a shot at us because they didn't know we were there.
Yeah.
Which goes to the name the stealth B-2 bomber.
I mean, we were there for, 20 minutes? Wow. I mean, over their airspace for a little bit longer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this picked up
nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say this picked up after he went through all the decoy setup. I mean, they had.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it sure was.
It's incredible.
That is.
I understand that some of the fighters they sent west, right? They sent them over the Pacific.
Right. That was the distraction.
That was earlier, toward Guam.
We're not doing anything here. This is just an exercise.
And there was
some
even
of them are going west,
fake radio
some are going
chatter
east
over there. And in fact,
really
before the attack, I remember seeing something come up on Twitter on Saturday afternoon about radio traffic. And in hindsight, well then, look at there. It's a good setup.
Yeah, they kept it. I mean, they kept it. There was no leaks.
Yeah.
Right.
No leaks. I mean, there was no ordering extra pizza at the Pentagon leaks.
Right.
There was something going on.
Right.
None of that.
Haven't seen any of it.
I know.
Interesting.
That is. And it's interesting what started this. Now, obviously, Iran getting nukes started it. But remember when he was in Canada, he left early?
Yeah.
And came back and nobody knew what he left for. And, I just feel like that was the beginning of this.
Right.
I feel like that was, he got news that Iran was up to something.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I hope that they aren't up to it anymore.
And
but I feel like that was, we're putting this thing together.
So get this. ABC News reported that the U.S. and Israel practiced this attack in a military exercise a year ago.
Oh.
That's very interesting.
Wow.
A year ago.
But that's just the ABC News report. I don't know if it's accurate or not.
Trying to make Biden look good on this?
I'm not trying to make anyone look good. But listen to this enormity of what was involved in this strike.
Yeah, let him finish here.
25 precision-guided weapons during this operation. This included, as the president stated last night, 14 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, marking the first ever operational use of this weapon. I know that battle damage is of great interest. Final battle damage will take some time, but initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction.
I bet.
More than 125 U.S. aircraft participated in this mission, including B-2 stealth bombers, multiple flights of 4th and fifth-generation fighters, dozens and dozens of air refueling tankers, a guided missile submarine, and a full array of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft, as well as hundreds of maintenance and operational professionals.
No kidding.
That is awesome.
No doubt.
That is awesome. And just how do these bunker busters work? Check this out.
How does the 30,000-pound GBU-57 bunker buster punch through 60 meters of concrete? Let's take a closer look at this massive Earth-penetrating bomb. Dropped from 30 kilometers up by a B-2 stealth bomber. It accelerates under gravity and aerodynamic shaping to reach supersonic speed. The moment it hits, the impact energy is like lightning striking steel. Pure kinetic force. Its warhead is made of a nickel-chromium steel alloy, tougher and more heat-resistant than standard steel, allowing it to survive the violent impact intact. Its streamlined body and adjustable tail fins, similar to JDAMs, ensure the bomb strikes at the optimal angle for penetration. GPS and inertial guidance systems give it pinpoint accuracy within 1.2 meters. But why doesn't it explode on contact? A delayed fuse triggers the warhead about 0.3 seconds after impact. Some versions even use a multi-stage fuse. The first charge opens a path, and the second pushes deeper before the main warhead detonates. Even if it doesn't fully penetrate, the blast, 10 times more powerful than any other U.S. conventional bomb, can destroy everything within 600 meters.
Wow.
Order yours today.
Operators are standing by.
Jeez.
Yeah, I did see a lot of reports coming out that a federal judge has already ordered Trump rebuild the Iranian nuke
send
facility.
them back. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio made the rounds on the Sunday morning shows.
The goal is stated very clearly in a letter the president sent the Supreme Leader about 65, 67 days ago. And in a letter he said, you're not going to have a nuclear weapon. Let's negotiate peacefully a solution. We can make a really good deal that's good for Iran, good for America, good for the world. If you don't, however, then I'm going to have to deal with this differently. The Iranians didn't like the letter. They didn't respond to it. They ultimately entered into fake negotiations and tried to play him along. In essence, they thought they could do with President Trump what they've done with presidents in the past and get away with it. And they found out last night that they can't. And the world found out last night that you can't. And that's important, not just on this issue, but for so many other issues happening around the world. I think that what we are seeing is that this is a president that tells you what he's going to do, and then he does it. And I think that to a lot of people, including the Iranian regime, is shocking.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it most definitely is.
Frankly, I was surprised. I was surprised we went so quickly into it.
You know, though, he gave them. Remember, after the 61 days or whatever, then he gave them 2 weeks.
He talked about it last week. 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, he said 2 weeks, and we want to talk about peace. And they did respond to that, or at least it was reported that they responded to that.
They wanted a meeting at the White House.
Yeah, but they also said they weren't willing to talk peace. I don't think they were talking about peace or getting rid of their program or whatever. They were saying that they were against what Trump wanted, and that's was the wrong answer.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, if anything, one thing that we have said, and Rubio really touched on it there, one thing in the Middle East, especially with regimes like Iran, is show them strength.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all they understand.
Right.
That's all they understand.
That's the language they speak.
Yeah. I also was amused to see that the Ayatollah Khamenei is he's prepared to be a martyr. Is he? Is that why he ceased all communication with anybody? And he's living in a bunker somewhere, and he's got some kind of Revolutionary Guard group that we didn't even know about around him, protecting him 24 hours a day? I mean, come on.
I know.
Yeah, he doesn't want to become a martyr at all.
No, he's okay with you becoming one.
Yes, he is. Right, but not me. But sure, I'll give your family $2,500 if you go ahead and blow yourself up.
No, it's important to do
on a bus.
It's important for you.
Yes,
for you. That.
Yes. Well, the weather is heating up, and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on the quality of sleep that you enjoy. And whether you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend checking out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA, and they use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermal regulating, and you're going to love them. And plus, they're also incredibly soft and comfortable. They're as luxurious and comfortable as the really high-priced sheets that you might find at a 5-star hotel. So you don't have to pay that 5-star hotel room price, however. Stop sleeping on bacteria, too. These are self-cleaning, and they're going to cause you to do a lot less laundry. Upgrade your sleep by going to trymiracle.com/Pat to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use my promo code PAT at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and an extra 20% off. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep tonight with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Pat. Promo code PAT to claim your 3-piece towel set for free and save over 40% off. trymiracle.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Also speaking after the attack was Vice President J.D. Vance. Here's what he had to say.
What we've said to the Iranians is we do not want war with Iran. We actually want peace. But we want peace in the context of them not having a nuclear weapons program. And that's exactly what the president accomplished last night. I really think there are two big questions for the Iranians here. Are they going to attack American troops, or are they going to continue with their nuclear weapons program? And if they leave American troops out of it and they decide to give up their nuclear weapons program once and for all, then I think the president has been very clear. We can have a good relationship with the Iranians. We can have a peaceful situation in that region of the world. We have to step back a little bit, Kristen, and remind ourselves that we negotiated aggressively with the Iranians to try to find a peaceful settlement to this conflict. It was only when the president decided that the Iranians were not negotiating in good faith that he took this action. Yeah. He didn't take it lightly, but I actually think it provides an opportunity to reset this relationship, reset these negotiations, and get us in a place where Iran can decide not to be a threat to its neighbors, not to be a threat to the United States. And if they're willing to do that, the United States is all ears.
Interesting. There's some people that are supporting this action that you wouldn't necessarily think would be supporting this action.
Yeah, this was before, if you're referring to Van Jones.
I wonder what he'll say now, because, before...
I went to the Twitter feed yesterday. I didn't see any kind of mention.
Okay. But here's Van Jones, of all people, talking about potential attack.
He's buying himself some time in some room. I was also in the Holy Land very recently. I think progressives underestimate how dangerous Iran is. Mm-hmm. Iran is not a normal country. Normal countries don't blind women because they showed some hair. They don't empower little gangs and proxies to surround a country and fire rockets and rape people. So Iran, the two things are clear. The what, they cannot have a bomb, and the why, because they say death to America, death to Israel, and death to all the Jews. One of those should offend you if you're progressive. At least one should offend you.
No kidding.
And so the question, though, is the who and the how. Is Israel going to take out this nuclear capacity by dropping people there who blow it up, or is America going to take it out by dropping a bomb that blows it up? But the what and the why are clear, and I think progressives should get on board with that.
Wow.
We cannot have a nuclear-armed Iran. I was in the region. You were in the region. This is a very dangerous power that cannot get a nuclear weapon.
He'll surprise you sometimes.
Wow, no kidding.
Every once in a while, he'll say something that's like, wait, what? Who are you?
What did you do with Van Jones?
Wow. So, that was nicely put, too.
Yes.
It was all true. And they are not a normal country. They're a state sponsor of terrorism. Is there a like-minded regime anywhere? Well, maybe North Korea. Although I don't think North Korea is sponsoring the terrorism that Iran is.
No, but they do. They're both very good at cyber terrorism.
Yeah. Interesting. We also have Lindsey Graham. He made the rounds yesterday morning.
Yeah, he was up all night Saturday night.
I bet.
Oh, he couldn't sleep. Literally. He was too excited.
Yeah.
He was too darn... Bombs went off! Absolutely giddy.
The day has come.
All right. More coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here from Jimmy Dimples, Midnight Hammer. I thought that was Jeffy's nickname for something.
A lot of people were thinking it was named after Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Oh,
thank you.
Fat lump of goo. They say 75 precision weapons, 14 mops, 30 tomahawks. What were the other 31 or so? Is this just Keith math?
Yeah.
Could be, yeah. Could be. From Giblets, we gave strike packages and suppression packages to Iran. Are they grateful? No. Ungrateful bastards.
Right.
I mean, what do you want? How many packages can we give you?
Thank you.
You're not appreciative of
Thank
it.
you.
We may soon learn how many packages we can end up giving.
Well, no, we don't want anything back for it. It's fine.
From V Dutch Mermaid, Chris is in Peru when the U.S. bombs Iran. Coincidence? Surely there was a gate he was guarding. That's right. Yeah. Thanks to Lance for filling in for Chris this week because he's in Peru. I guess building houses for poverty-stricken Peruvians, which is really cool. That's very nice. At least that's what he's saying he's doing.
Thank you.
Who really knows? Who knows what he's up to? All right. So we had Van Jones support the airstrikes, or seemingly, before they happened. We'll see what he says afterwards. But Republican Senator Lindsey Graham made the rounds yesterday morning where he explained why Iran was different than other Middle East conflicts.
Iran is different. Nuclear weapons in the hands of the Ayatollah is a nightmare for the world.
Their concern, though, is that this could lead to a wider war, maybe boots on the ground.
Why is he laughing?
Vice President J.D. Vance said that they're not interested in boots on the ground, didn't necessarily rule it out. Are you worried about that?
No, I don't think I see boots on the ground in our future, but I do see Israel not stopping.
Oh,
okay.
All right. That's interesting.
Okay.
He knows he can't get any support for boots on the ground.
No way.
That would be a bridge too far.
No way.
Yeah.
Are we sure? I'm being serious.
Pretty sure.
Yes.
I mean, I hope he understands that. He seemed to right there. But who knows? I mean, I know he'd love it. But can he get away with it?
Okay, 5 days ago, I posted a poll where 70% of those responding, majority from this audience, said don't use U.S. weapons. 70%.
Okay.
And in fact, the red line, remember, we drew the red line over here.
Yeah.
Well, we had 75% say stay out completely or share intel with Israel. That's the line there. But then an additional 25%, 24% said, well, yeah, let's go ahead and drop bombs. But after it happened, now the vast majority are like, oh, yeah, we absolutely had to do this. And I'm not saying that we didn't have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out what changed. Is it because Trump says we have to do it now?
Yeah, it could be part of it, but also it could be that we've already done it, so we might as well now go with it.
Yep.
Because what are you going to do about it?
There's no take backs.
It's kind of where I am. We did
no
it.
take backs.
Now what are you going to do?
Yeah, we
sit and whine about it. I'm going to hope it went well. That's what I'm going to hope.
We need to shore up.
Hold on.
Make sure we're not.
What are we going to do
else.
about it? I think the question is now: is it going to be more than 0.7% that are okay with boots on the ground? Because remember, it was very few that were even okay with dropping bombs and missiles. But now we've progressed to that point. So the next question is, we can sit here right now and 100% unequivocally say no boots on the ground. I have no idea what the masses and what the Republican base are going to say if all of a sudden you get a late night speech that says we have to go in.
Well, if he does, I'm going to be opposed to that.
Yes,
that I will oppose. I was kind of on the fence on dropping the ordinance. I was kind of our participation in it. I certainly didn't think it was going to happen this quickly, but now it did. So what do you do? You don't send troops. I mean, I think that's off the table. I don't.
I think so too.
I don't think you can go there. The last thing we want is another engagement like that, like Iraq or Afghanistan. The last 20 years, and then we leave, and then it falls right back into where it was before it all began.
And then just be prepared for people like Lindsey Graham.
Yes,
there will be some who will remind us that Iran is different. So if there's ever a case for boots on the ground, it's Iran, because you can't have a nuclear-armed Iran.
Yeah. Well, what do we do the bombing for?
Right.
Exactly. So let's see how effective those were.
Yeah. Yep.
Now that conversation,
I don't think so.
Could be coming.
It could.
Just got to be prepared for it.
Yeah. I think we'll shut it down pretty quickly.
I think so too. I feel like we would as well. I don't. But then as Keith said, we get a 10 o'clock speech from Donald Trump saying,
"Yeah,
it's different. We got to go in." I know. I know. We can't help it.
It is.
The bunker
conceivable.
busters from those tremendous machines didn't quite do what we thought they would. What they did.
And there is some belief circulating right now that it wasn't 100% effective. But I think more compelling than that are the reports that the majority of the stuff had already been moved out of these places.
Yeah.
That's what I'm very concerned about.
Yeah. And we talked about it on Friday, whether or not the massive ordnance penetrator was going to be enough.
Right.
We talked about that. There were doubts that it could actually get the full job done. And so we'll see. We'll see. They said it's too early to tell.
We sent 14. What are those things, like $29.99 each?
Yeah, about that.
You about that?
Yeah. I think they're all just shy of $30.
That's what
apiece.
I thought. Yeah, if you order today.
Where were we hearing? Was it here, or was it on the news before the show that we heard the B-2 bomber price? $2 billion apiece. $2 billion per plane.
Yeah, and that's not counting the bomb.
No, that's not counting the bomb. But I read a thing over the weekend that we dropped $500 million worth of bombs on them. So
okay.
They're expensive, but they're not.
That's not as expensive as I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think that would be. Of course, I'm sure the nukes cost a little bit more.
But look, if it turns out to be $500 million to save the world.
Yes. Then that'll have.
Absolutely.
And I guess.
And I will say this: are you willing to drop a tactical nuke to save boots on the ground?
These are conversations that we have to have, honestly.
I mean, I know.
I'm glad I'm not president.
Me too.
Me too.
God bless you, President Trump, and our troops.
What did we do in World War II? We dropped the bomb rather than sacrifice 1 million troops. On Japan.
But we had already sacrificed. I mean,
we didn't want to sacrifice another 1 million. Yeah. So that, in fact, they said that saved 1 million lives on both sides. 2 million people were saved by dropping that bomb. It sounds insensitive for the people who died in the explosion and the aftermath of the radioactive exposure, but it did save a lot of lives.
Yeah.
And Truman went to his grave, not regretting it one bit.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Not everybody was on board with the airstrikes. What? Are you sure? Huh. Here's Democrat Senator Mark Kelly yesterday.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Do you trust the administration's assessment that all three nuclear sites have been, quote, totally obliterated?
Well, let me just start by saying, what I think should have happened here, right up front is him coming to Congress and asking for authorization to do this. That's the constitutional approach to this. He could have talked to us about what the goal is.
Not really, Mark.
How many times has that not been the case, though? More often than not, the president does an executive decision on
and there's a
these
long
military
history
strikes.
Of these happening.
Long history. Where, this goes back prior to Reagan. But Reagan did it multiple times. Clinton did it. What about the aspirin factory in Libya? Remember that?
Yeah, I had a list of all the years.
Truman,
I'd like to see
Kennedy,
that list.
Johnson,
yes,
Nixon,
everybody's done it.
Ford, Reagan.
Don't give me that.
GHW, Clinton, GW, Obama, Trump, Biden.
You probably have to go back to the founding presidents in order to find somebody who didn't do it that way.
Yeah, we got 7 times Obama, twice Bush,
7 times for
Clinton,
Obama. My gosh.
2 HW. I'm going back, obviously. Twice Reagan. Nixon 3 times. OBJ 3 times. Yeah. But to his point on telling Congress, I saw a report where Republican leaders were briefed on this, but not Democrats, because Democrats leak this stuff.
Sure.
And as clean as an operation this was, you want to get our young men and women killed.
Tell the Democrats.
That's the thing.
Tell them.
You're right. If you tell a Democrat committee head about this, you're going to have the Libya strikes redo of 1983. Remember this when Patrick Leahy leaked the information out and Gaddafi and his kids got out. Remember this? I mean, so when you tell congressional leadership about this stuff,
bad things happen.
That's the thing.
That's for sure.
When you guys can come back to us when you can keep your mouth shut.
Right. All right, let's see if we can get through Mark Kelly here.
And what the plan is ahead of time. And we could have had a discussion about it. He says these sites were obliterated. If you listen to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, clearly we've got to do bomb damage assessment. It's hard to figure out even when you're destroying a building. In this case, the buildings are actually underground, buried 200 feet, dirt, rock, concrete. It's a really hard problem. And I'm not clear, it's not clear to me, and it's probably not going to be for some time, whether we actually took out their capability.
Let me ask you, because Vice President J.D. Vance, about your argument that the president should have come to Congress, argued that it wasn't necessary. He said the president has the authority to act to prevent the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. What's your reaction to Vice President Vance, who said he absolutely had the right to act?
Well, I would say when there's a clear and imminent threat to U.S. citizens, to the United States, to the homeland, the commander-in-chief has a right to act. That wasn't the case here. And I think certainly for the 40,000 troops in at least 6 countries in the Middle East, we have a lot of bases in the Middle East, those troops are now at greater risk. I think folks here at home as well are at greater risk. We could see terrorist attacks here.
Yeah,
the
thanks to
Iranians
your
still
guy.
have a lot of
All
proxies.
right, I can't take it
They
anymore.
could go after.
Thanks to Joe Biden, who allowed 8,000 terrorists into the country under his reign of terror.
More.
Or more.
Yeah, open borders from Joe after pallets of cash from Obama.
Ugh, agonizing to listen to these people. All right.
And I will say that let's not forget that Joe Biden lifted the sanctions, which helped them as well.
Right, freed up the
Obama,
was it $14
Obama
billion?
gave him a bunch of cash, and
freed up the
Biden
money.
took the sanctions away.
Yeah, you left the pallets of, what was it, $6 billion?
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I don't know, but Biden's when
The
he
sanctions,
unfreezed, was it $14 billion to get unfreezed?
I don't remember.
Separate from the sanctions, made access to that money. Right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is separate from the sanctions. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. You know what's worse than lab-grown meat? A lot of times, grocery store meat, pretending to be the real thing. I don't know.
I hate those posers.
Yeah, oh, man. I really do. Every time I think, all right, I'm going to give in and just get it because it's right
right there.
It's right there. I'm here for eggs. I'm going to get some steak, too. Don't do it. Don't do it. Plan ahead. Go to Tri-Tails Beef. This steak is absolutely delicious. It's never let me down. It's always tender, tasty, delicious. I mean, the grilling season is upon us, and you want to be putting great things on your grill. Not nasty, tough, tasteless pieces of meat that you don't know where they came from. Probably Iran or someplace.
No one wants that.
You know, nobody wants that. Tri-Tails Beef is the real deal. A Texas ranch, family-run, pasture-raised, grain-finished Black Angus beef. It's not just another label in the meat aisle, and their beef is raised with a love that you can genuinely taste, from the marbling to the tenderness to that rich, clean flavor. Tri-Tails Beef stands up to anything that you're ever going to get. And if that's not enough to get you excited about Tri-Tails, let me tell you about their latest special. Go to trybeef.com/PatGray, and you'll get a free pack of steak tips with your orders over $249. Just for being one of their fabulous customers, and just for ordering because you heard it on this show. Your family deserves the good stuff. They'll thank you. Go to trybeef, T-R-Y, trybeef.com/PatGray.
Pat Gray is Unleashed.
All right. On the president's side of the aisle, Representative Thomas Massie was not excited about this particular strike.
The notion that this isn't an active war, I find ludicrous. This is a hot war. There are two nations, Israel and Iran, trading volleys of missiles every night, every day, and we're co-belligerent now in this war.
I mean, the vice president went on to say that they needed to act now because there was a narrow window, and if they waited, it could have been too late. And they needed to stop the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Do you not share that concern?
No, I don't share that concern. But I have another concern, and that is that 3 bombings to neutralize Iran may turn out to be the 2025 version of 2 weeks to slow the spread. This could turn into a protracted, prolonged engagement, and I'm here to represent the base of the MAGA party that got Trump elected. Most of us were tired of the wars in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, and we were promised that we wouldn't be engaging in another one. Yet here we see this happening, and there's the president and the administration say, "Oh, we're done. We've had our little bombing, and now this is over." But what happens if this drags on between Israel and Tel Aviv gets pummeled by Iran? Is President Trump going to say we're going to sit by and not do anything in that instance? I'm leery of this given everything that's happened before.
I will tell you, I didn't recognize him.
I will say
at
this:
first.
I don't have any idea what he said.
Yeah,
I can't get over the beard
distracting.
thing. That's why Trump doesn't like him anymore.
The goatee thing was...
The whole beard thing has got to go.
Completely throws... That does not look like him.
Gotta go. That's why Trump doesn't like him anymore.
He's not a beard guy.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Would you know that that's Thomas
No,
Massie?
I didn't think it was at first.
I just said it was Thomas Massie. Who's this guy?
I know.
Until he finally started talking, and then wait, that's Thomas Massie.
He doesn't have his little pocket counter on.
Oh, no. Yeah, it is down there hiding. It's in the corner. See that?
Okay.
So I have no idea what he was talking about, but
I have no
that's
idea
not
what
Thomas
he said.
Massie. I'm sorry.
President Trump knew what he was talking about because he responded quickly.
All right.
Yeah, he doesn't
didn't like it.
Yeah.
No, he put a big tweet. Can you put the post up? The long rant of.
Did he
Thomas
hashtag it with shave?
Yeah. I mean, this goes on and on. You can go to the next page.
Man, look at that.
He typed more characters and rants toward Thomas Massie over the weekend than toward Iran.
MAGA. Even though he likes to say he is.
He's a loser.
Actually, MAGA doesn't want him, doesn't know him, and doesn't respect him.
Yeah, he wants him
Hashtag
out.
shave.
He wants him out. Hey, just one quick thing, though.
Pathetic loser. Wow.
Yeah. He went off. Like I said.
I disagree with that.
That's not a good assessment.
More fire directed at Massie than Iran. But quickly, we got to play this montage. Please play it real quick. The main talking point on Sunday morning here. Play the montage, please. The video.
Well, let's just wait until after. Okay, here we go.
You got it. Go.
God, that's too late.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Okay. We'll do it after.
Because this is something
to look forward to.
We've already had a message change, and we need to keep an eye on this. Within the administration.
More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
With a few tweets for you. Frank Johnson's alter ego tweets. $500 million is still, that's the price we paid for the bombs, I guess. $500 million worth of bombs dropped on Iran. Is still less than, or was it $500 billion? Which was it?
No, it couldn't have been $1 billion, right?
Couldn't be, right? No, it was. I'm pretty sure it was 500 million.
14 bunkers and a few other little ones.
I think it was it 90 altogether? Some, including the Tomahawks.
Sure, if you say so. I mean,
whatever.
That's
500 million.
I mean, 500 million seems possible.
Yeah, almost $1 billion worth, or half $1 billion.
I mean, even if it was more than that,
seems reasonable.
Yes.
Anyway, it's still less damage than the liberals have done to L.A. alone.
Yeah, there was a great side-by-side over the weekend that showed Hiroshima today after a bomb had been dropped on it, alongside decades of liberalism in Detroit.
My gosh.
And nuclear.
Seen memes like that. Mm-hmm. You know, you could go to New Orleans, too, which happened in 2005, and see the damage still that hasn't been repaired there. L.A. after the fires. I mean, how long is that going to take? Where are we on the Baltimore Bridge, the key bridge in Baltimore?
They're still moving along on that.
I think that one's going faster than most, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going to get Wes Moore the Democratic
elected.
nod.
Mm-hmm. Efforting thought criminal. Iran. They might not have any Walmarts, but they sure have a lot of Targets. Yeah. See what he did there?
I did not know that.
Yes, sir.
I do see.
Jimmy Dimples tweets, general rule of thumb, arguing against someone who can drop a bomb on your house without your ever seeing or hearing it coming is generally a bad idea. I agree with that. And yet they keep doing it. They keep doing it.
Yes.
They just got they have no concern for human life, you know?
Correct.
Their ideology is such that they think it's supposedly they think it's a great thing to die for their cause. But the Ayatollah Khomeini doesn't seem like that right now, does he? He's hiding as much as he possibly can, stopped all electronics. He doesn't want to be tracked. He doesn't want to be found. Although, the president told us we know exactly where he is. So, we'll see. Keith, walk us through yesterday's messaging from the administration.
So, one of the constant refrains from both, let's see, we got Vance, Rubio, and Hegseth. There's a very short montage here, but they all were very clear in what they said.
Okay.
All right.
Well, first of all, we don't want to achieve regime change. We want to achieve the end of the Iranian nuclear program, John. That's America's objective, and that's what the president has set us out to do.
Yeah.
So this mission was a very precise mission. It had 3 objectives, 3 nuclear sites. It was not attack on Iran. It was not an attack on the Iranian people. This wasn't a regime change move.
This mission was not and has not been about regime change.
Very clear.
Very clear.
We were in and
Very
out.
crystal clear.
And now let's make a deal, Iran.
However, there's a big but.
What's that, Pat?
This might be a bigger but than what is sitting right over there.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Thanks for coming in on a Monday, Jeffy. So in other words, that was the messaging on Sunday morning. But
that's BUT. I'm using the BUT but. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Did you think that was fat shaming?
Pretty sure I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure I got it.
Good. I wanted you to make sure that you knew that that's not fat shaming. That's not what
sensitive. How'd you pick up that?
Right? Where did he thought I was talking the BUTT butt, but no. Okay. So anyway, Donald Trump tweeted this out.
All right.
It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MAGA. Make Iran great again.
Okay, now a lot of keyboard warriors are probably saying, but he's telling the people of Iran.
Right, yeah, that's what they'll say.
I hope so.
Me too.
I hope so.
Me too.
I hope that's what he is saying.
Me too.
I hope that's the messaging then, because
we don't want none of that. I don't want.
It's not our deal.
No,
please.
It has been.
Please
in
don't.
the
Yes,
past.
it has.
I know.
And again,
yes, it has.
It's never worked out. Name the time when American intervention like this has ever worked out.
Germany, France, Europe, all of Europe.
Okay, after World War II. Since World War II.
They're welcome.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I mean, it's just something to monitor here. I just hope
absolutely none of the South America and Middle East, never.
It's never worked out. Certainly
Central
didn't work out in
America.
Afghanistan.
Nope.
Hasn't worked great in Iraq. Didn't work in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's get to the Pat Gray bingo card, which we're an hour late for today because of all the breaking news that we had to cover. But we've got a new bingo card. It's pinned to the top of Pat Gray, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. And it starts in the upper left-hand corner with, and it looks like the font's a little smaller than usual, right?
I guess I just hit print instead of copied and pasted in print.
Oh, wow.
And somebody
Did somebody walk off with their glasses?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have to be the Jackie specs this morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Which are incredibly
Was Steve Dace here?
Right? Am I right?
Right.
Was Dace in this building?
First, he breaks
our lightning
bolt, and now he walks off.
I mean, that guy writes a kid's book, and now all of a sudden he can just do what he wants. Okay. All right.
Just help yourself to my glasses, Steve, I guess. All right.
If they turn up broken, we'll definitely know it was him.
We start in the upper left-hand corner with, by the way, you'll hear Steve's show, and where he admits, I'm sure he'll admit it today.
Yes, absolutely.
Immediately following the Glenn Beck program?
That's correct.
Yes. So, in the upper left-hand corner, it starts out with me said the quiet part out loud. Then we got Jeffy with...
My friend.
The Graveyard Dead.
You graveyard dead.
Okay.
Graveyard Dead.
Graveyard Dead.
Me saying too much funny. And then, especially this time of year, starting the next row That should give you pause. Pringle with...
All the things!
I can't tell you how much that's been going through my head lately.
I'm so sorry.
I can't get it out of my head. Keith with...
someone brought receipts.
Okay. Alex Jones, they're turning the
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Oh, way ahead of his time.
Way ahead.
Amen.
And Jeffy?
Some would say.
Then we got business music. Oh, yeah. That's right, mama. There it is. Me saying, are you working for Potter now? Oh, you see. Man unit. Me with all the intensity of 1 billion white-hot burning suns. Nancy Pelosi with Wolf. I think I have that somewhere. Do I have that? Or does
Can't yell wolf in a crowded theater.
The Constitution does not say that a person can shout wolf in a crowded theater.
No, she's right. It doesn't say that.
Did you
doesn't
see?
Say that.
I mean, obviously we're doing the bingo board here, but did you see that she outperformed every hedge fund in the last 20 years?
Yeah, I did by quite a bit.
Boy, insider trading
quite a bit.
for Congress continues to thrive.
It's a wonder, isn't it? Keith with
Niner.
Then the Abyss thing, you have to look with better eyes than that. Jeffy?
I got it. Okay.
William Thomas.
Trans women are not a threat to women's sports.
Oh, I see. Will Leah.
Yeah, because it's Leah Thomas, but it's actually William Thomas.
That's a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Me mentioning the cockles of my heart, which I had surgically removed a long time ago, so you cannot warm them. Unmitigated gall. We're all in this together.
Oh, no.
Joe Biden with a billion, trillion, a trillion, million, billion. Keith.
FAFO.
And me explaining something to Judy. Okay? So there's that's the bingo card this week. You just want to be the first to call.
So
888-900-3393 to win $30 worth of merchandise from PatGrayShop.com and a dozen Kexi cookies.
I wasn't at the board meeting, but if we said something on this bingo card before we announced it, does it count?
No.
It does not count.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeffy.
I just asking.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified.
You should be good with that, though, because...
But starting now...
You don't have to give away the prize every week.
Starting now, Jeffy. Starting now. So, Iran...
You don't.
FAFO'd, didn't they?
Yeah, Keith. I got it.
See what he did there, though? He just gave you one. Bang. Just like that. Right out of the chute.
Or two.
Or two. The FBI announced last week that it was looking into fraud around the 2020 election results. Wait, what do you mean? Was there fraud? That China was involved? I mean, there was all kinds of things that have been coming up lately in this disproven lie that has been going on for 5 years. All of a sudden, not so disproven.
I mean, what's his
not
face
so big a
just
lie.
lost his case to Dominion. My Pillow. Dingleberry just has to pay them a bunch of money,
and he doesn't have any money.
I know.
Anymore. Mike, about Mike?
Mike Lindell.
Mike
right?
Lindell. Yeah.
He just did not. I think it was last week.
They've pretty effectively destroyed.
They sure
him
have.
And his business. They went after him big time. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson was on with Benny Johnson and was asked what would be the next action by Congress for uncovering all of the 2020 fraud.
Sometimes the only voice, Senator, that would talk about this, the stolen election in 2020. Do you support a special prosecutor for this?
Yeah. We need people with power and the resources, the manpower to go and investigate this. We also need whistleblowers. People with integrity that don't like the fact that probably crimes are committed that would come forward because they have firsthand knowledge. They save documents on their iPhone or on their computers and then bring that forward because if somebody else has destroyed it, it's by the way, it's hard to destroy evidence now today with the internet. For example, Dr. David Morans, this is the guy who wrote about how he had somebody inside the FOIA office that pretty well helped him avoid maintaining records that could be FOIA. So that's why he was sending everybody out to contact me by email, by Gmail. We didn't get that from HHS. We got that from a university who's on the email chain. And then my staff literally pulled that email out of a production of about 115,000 pages, pulled that needle out of that haystack. That's what we're talking about here. Now, to me, that was a bombshell revelation that somebody pretty high up in HHS was literally doing everything they could to avoid storing what should be federal records and keep them available and make them available to the public under FOIA. They were obviously purposely evading that process. But that was one piece of evidence, one email that we got from a university, not from the federal agency itself. Right. So you have to stitch all these things together. You got to find those needles in the haystack and then pull that thread and see if there's other documentation. But again, this is what whistleblowers are crucial. Remember whistleblowers during Watergate. Wouldn't have gotten anywhere without people coming forward and spilling their guts. We need people coming forward and spilling their guts. Unfortunately, most of those people in the deep state, they're not our friends. They're part of the radical left that is destroying this country.
And which is bigger, the Watergate where they broke into a hotel?
I know.
And stole some campaign information from somebody who was about 40 points behind in the election. Is that worse than stealing the election in 2020?
I find that concerning that Ron Johnson is pinning his hope on whistleblowers coming forward. I've seen whistleblowers coming forward for the last 5 or 6 years now, and bad things happen to them, very bad things. Yeah. And then the good guys get into office, and they're still out there, hung out to dry. No one's riding to the rescue. We just had Steve Friend on Friday. His life has been ruined. The good guys are now in office, and they're running the show, and nobody's
not interested
nobody's
in him.
patching up his life, or Garrett O'Boyle, or any of these other guys.
And we've come a long way since the 2020 election. I mean, they've had a long time to cover their tracks if there were, what wasn't covered to begin with.
Yeah, that's really true. All right. Let me tell you, take a minute and tell you about Kexi cookies. Because, yes, the world may be falling apart. But at least we're here to make the apocalypse fun. And if you want to make it a little more comforting, you need Kexi cookies. So while everything is going to hell in a handbasket, you can be eating something really, really delicious. And you don't have to take my word for it. Here's what Dan wrote. He said, "Holy crap." I thought Pat Gray was just talking up his business. I admit my mistake. Those were the best cookies I've ever bought. I'll certainly order them again. Thank you. Whether you're doom scrolling the news or listening to us laugh through all the chaos, there's nothing like a warm, soft, delicious, gigantic cookie to take the edge off. Ship them straight to your door. No rationing required. Go to Kexi.com. That's KEKSI.com. Because, if the end is near, you might as well go out with some great cookies.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are going to hell in a handbasket,
right,
there should be Kexi cookies in that handbasket.
Exactly right. KEKSI, Kexi.com.
Living up the end of the world. Pat Gray returns next.
Welcome. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I got some tweets here. Lone Wolf 2965 tweets, Massie has a goatee now. You know what that means? He's been replaced by his evil mirror universe counterpart.
I mean, maybe he's from Kentucky. Maybe he's part of some Civil War reenactment group, and he has to be the some captain or general in the army. I don't know, but it's stop it.
It's Rhino season tweets. So Trump won't let Thomas Massie sit with him at the cool kids table now during lunch today?
No way.
No, they won't be together.
They haven't been together in a while.
Sons of Thunder 44, if my neighbors are arguing and fighting, my first thought isn't to intervene. It's grab the popcorn and watch.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah. That is not America's first thought, however.
Weren't you gonna come in and, from the back porch? And no, these people are fighting back here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Unfortunately for our nation, it's like, wow, there's another chance for me to get my fat face into something.
That's for sure.
every single time.
That is for sure.
Every time.
And especially, it seemed that with the regime change stuff, I mean, we've been so prevalent in that.
We have.
It's not.
We have.
It's not good. You can quote me on that. It's not good.
Really?
Yeah.
I can quote?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Jeff Fisher said, it's not good.
Thank you.
Unquote.
Thank you.
Okay. Hank Johnson had a little song for President Trump.
This is so
over the weekend.
good.
Is it already?
That's a hit.
Got him in the Rock and Roll Hall
It's on
of
the
Fame?
charts with a bullet right now.
Oh, nice. Here he is.
I'm compelled with a new guitar and with some thoughts about that old song, Hey Joe, to give some commentary on where we are now.
Whoa.
Hey, Trump.
Okay.
Where you going with that?
Gun in your hand.
You might want to tune the guitar before you play it.
I think it is. He did.
Yeah, it's tuned.
Hey, Trump.
Oh, you're a guitar player all of a sudden. Okay.
Wait.
Where you going with that gun in your hand?
This is before
Wow.
Saturday night, by the way.
Wow, is this bad?
What?
Holy cow.
I'm
dare
going
you.
down the street and shoot
That's a
down
city
democracy.
Shoot down democracy, Pat.
You know I want to be a king someday.
Don't you dare think about cutting this off.
Yeah, right. This is good stuff.
Don't you dare.
I'm going down and shoot democracy down.
We're not a democracy, Hank.
You know I want to be the king someday.
Preach.
Wow. How do you do this
Donald Trump.
and watch it afterward and say, yeah,
Post it.
that. Post it.
Post it.
We won't
Rack
let you
it.
Take our democracy
How does that
down.
happen? Seriously.
Take it down to the ground.
Wow. It's embarrassing.
What?
It's embarrassing.
How are you picking up
This
on
is
that?
worse than the
Hey, Trump.
Hey, Trump.
Guam tipping over and
It's not,
capsizing.
it's not worse. I mean, it's not worse than the
We won't
midgets.
let you take our democracy down.
That's fair.
Burn it down to the ground.
They always sound differently in their heads.
Yep.
All right, post it.
Hey,
Post it.
Hey, Trump.
Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
bad.
Ooh,
Oh
that
my
was-
gosh.
That
I think
is
my ears just
awesome.
capsized.
Wow.
As somebody, I posted that over the weekend. As somebody said, I did not anticipate that.
That's really good.
So good.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good, man.
Nah, he's good.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
Just like we didn't anticipate this.
I know.
And
so
yet,
good.
And
So
yet, there
bad,
it is.
it's
so good.
Oof. Wow. This is the greatest nation in the history of the planet, and he is one of its elected officials.
Yeah. For a long time.
Wow.
A long time.
Unreal.
He's been in office since, I think, 2009.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, he's been in
Too long.
Georgia. I will say this. Now, he either isn't smart enough to figure out insider trading.
Yeah.
Or what? I mean, we kind of did a little bit of a deep dive on him on Saturday Morning Live, and he's not wealthy at all.
Oh, really? Wow.
So he's working for the people, Pat, and I'm a little disappointed that you don't appreciate the work he's doing.
That's why he can't even afford to tune his guitar. I should tell him about some websites where you can go. And,
Really?
Yeah.
They do that for you?
Yes.
In today's world. Wow.
You just, without even buying a tuner, you could just go online and get that thing tuned up.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Man, technology.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. So there was a Michigan church attack over the weekend. We've got some raw video from what happened there because
they were live streaming the service there. Yeah,
a tragedy was averted.
Yep, guy showed up, and you can hear the gunfire in the background. But a security guard took him down, as did a deacon running him over with his truck. And here's what it looked like inside.
Corral in every day, and our songs helped do that, and so did our games. But that doesn't mean that we didn't have.
Whoa!
It doesn't mean we didn't have time for Bible stories, science experiments, snacks, and learning important Bible verses that the kids could take with them.
Stop talking.
We hope that after the service you'll stay and move around the foyer and let the kids tell you about the great treats we had this week, and have some too. Thank you.
Sounds like machine gun fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
This guy's carrying. You see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Come on.
Was he a security guard or just one of the congregants?
Come to the back, Don. They gotta come. They gotta come. Come on. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
The guy's already been neutralized, though, outside?
It's underway.
Out, I don't think is a good idea.
So they obviously feel like he was on his way inside the church.
So the
to
service
start
is
firing
happening,
at people.
and,
Wow.
Yeah, he opens fire outside.
My gosh.
Security guard takes him down with the help of one of the deacons there who ran over him with his truck.
So he got shot and run over. Wow.
Yeah, and apparently 2 churchgoers ended up shooting him too.
Oh.
So everybody was prepared.
Yeah. So we lost him.
A 31-year-old white guy. Do we have a motive yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
There's plenty of experts
chilling.
telling you not to live stream your services.
Because that only encourages them.
Yes. They tell you if you you just delay the stream, delay your stream broadcast so it's not live. Don't advertise that you're streaming your Sunday service.
It's a good safety tip.
Yeah, I think it is.
It is. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Ooh, yeah. Welcome. 888-900-3393. Let's check in with Jeffy and Fat Five.
Awesome. Let's knock out the Chewing the Fat Five. Hey, the heat dome still over a lot of the country, the United States, that is. Temperatures expected to
million
exceed,
Americans.
Yeah. So many people refer to that as summer. But to stay cool as possible, remember to hydrate and
okay.
Fine.
And don't forget, most of the high temperature records by state were all set way back when, 1913, the 30s. So 40s, I mean, they're...
Yeah, they haven't changed enough of the 30s records yet to make that a cooler decade.
No, they have not.
They're trying.
They're working on that.
They change them every year.
They're working on that.
Slowly but surely,
absolutely.
They are changing the 1930s to make it cooler.
Yep.
It was the hottest decade ever. So... You're not fooling us. Okay, you can't go back and change the records. Well, I guess they can.
Yes,
They keep doing
yes,
it.
they can.
The most recent
Absolutely.
record in here is there's a 2012 and a 2019. Everything else was... There's a few in the 90s here.
Okay.
And then we got 2 80s. Look, we got 1800 still hanging on up here. Okay, we got Washington State was 2021. That is the only one
that's really
that's
recent.
within the last decade.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Wow.
Go ahead,
What are the Alaska
give
highs?
Give us state by state.
Yeah, give us the Alaska. What was the
Go ahead,
Alaska
take
year?
your time.
1915.
And does it say what the temp was?
100.
What, 1915? It was 100 degrees?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
And we all know Alaska was full of SUVs.
Full.
In 1915.
Chock full in 1915.
Holy
Yeah. It's agonizing.
It is.
I can't take it.
Just remember to hydrate. You'll be fine.
Okay.
We have a new NBA champion. Game 7 last night. Winner take all. The Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the Indiana Pacers 103-91. congratulations to them.
Kristen Chenoweth did the national anthem. Did you hear it?
No, I did not hear it.
Pretty impressive.
I did not hear it.
She can hit some notes.
Absolutely, she can. Yeah.
She did a high note on the home of the free, and she went up.
Did
there.
it remind you of Congressman Hank Johnson?
Sure.
Yes.
Same
yes,
thing.
It did. Same deal.
He was already booked, so they had to go with Chenoweth.
Right. Yeah.
It was fun. It was a great series, and it was fun to watch. And I was sorry to see Tyrese Halliburton go down in the first quarter last night. Very disappointing. I talked about this. I teased this last week, but streaming has now officially beat traditional TV. And
I thought that happened a while ago.
No, not total. So when you look at this chart of the cord-cutting prophecy being fulfilled, you're looking at the streaming platforms captured 44.8% of total television viewership.
Yeah,
and now with broadcast and cable, 44.2%.
So even with broadcast and cable combined, it beats
the streaming beat them now. Yeah. And I don't know that they're going to look back.
Wow!
I think that was the break point. Now,
something will eventually replace streaming. But.
Yeah, I mean, they might stay close for a little bit, but I don't think streaming is going to look back.
No.
Pretty impressive, and YouTube is top, of course, and Netflix, Disney, Prime, Roku, Paramount Plus, Tubi. Tubi, in fact, surpassed 100 million monthly users for the first time, hitting 1 billion viewing hours in May, so setting new records. So
Tubi.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I just watched a movie on there the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I think Tubi's owned by Fox. Is that right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
But be sure to subscribe to my daily show, Chewing the Fat, available wherever you get your podcasts. Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher.
Okay.
The Supreme Court, hard at work. They rejected a copyright challenge to Ed Sheeran. Speaking of music and your national anthem singer and Hank Johnson, a copyright challenge was out there to Ed Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud, brought by a partial owner to the rights of Marvin Gaye's 1973 classic Let's Get It On. I think we talked about it when it first when they first started fighting about it. So the lower courts found that the chord progression and harmonic rhythm in Gaye's song is too commonplace to be legally protected.
Thank you.
And no reasonable jury, according to Judge Michael Park, no reasonable jury could find that the two songs taken as a whole are substantially similar in light of their dissimilar melodies and lyrics.
Yes.
So,
which is what we said when we played that.
Yes, we did them. Yeah, we did them back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not anything alike.
Not even close. Not even close.
And I think the Gay family wanted.
It was a lot of money.
$8 million.
Well, look, that came from his X album, and I mean, it was a monster hit. It stayed, I think, 58 weeks on the chart.
Yeah.
It was a big hit for him. Made a lot of money. Still making a lot of money for Ed. So if you can get a piece of that, why not?
And they tried.
But to no avail. Have a nice day. And a reminder that the American dream still's out there. The United States is home to the most millionaires of any country, with a tally of 23.8 million in 2024. According to a new Swiss bank report, they estimated the U.S. minted some 379,000 new millionaires last year. More than 1,000 a day.
Is that people who make a salary of over $1 million a year, or is that you have over $1 million in the bank?
Assets, yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know how the Swiss bank, the UBS, tallied that. China came in second with 6.3 million, which was up 2.3%, and with 141,000 new millionaires. And by percentage, this is really kind of strange, by percentage, Turkey's millionaire population increased the most with 8.4%, with 87,000. I know. Many of us still have hope, though, of joining this crowd. The Mega Millions drawing is Tuesday for a $326 million jackpot with $145 million cash payout, and the Powerball drawing today is $128 million with the $57.6 million cash payout. So the lottery helping to keep my dreams and hopes alive.
When it gets to $1 billion, let me know.
Okay,
and that's
I'll be
when
happy
I'll become a little bit interested. Did you see that Carol Kay, who was supposed to be inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame in November, said no to the Rock Hall of Fame? She's a revered bassist.
Yeah, she still gets in, though, right?
She played on thousands.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Of songs.
Her story is amazing. Yeah.
She played on hits by the Beach Boys, Simon and Garfunkel, Barbara Streisand. and she says, I've declined the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame permanently.
Wow.
She's 90, and she told them in an email, I don't want any part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Kind of interesting.
What was her reasoning?
Let's see. She said in her deleted post,
any Hall of Fame that doesn't have Phil Collins in it can bite me.
Solidarity
Carol
with
Kay.
Phil. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, okay.
She said she's turning it down because it wasn't something that reflects the work that studio musicians do and did in the golden era of the 1960s recording hits.
Oh, wow.
Weird. Okay. But, I mean, she was on Homeward Bound, Good Vibrations, The Monkees, I'm a Believer.
Her story is incredible.
Yeah.
Well, what would give the right honor for that? Then I'm not quite sure I understand that.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't understand what she was trying to say. What do you mean? It's kind of a weird comment.
Yeah, are we supposed to have the Orchestra Hall of Fame or the?
It would have made sense if it was in solidarity with Phil Collins.
Yeah,
but that's not what it is. So
the Hall of Fame doesn't reflect what I thought
did,
rock and roll was. I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. But whether or not they're going to remove her name from it, I guess out of deference to her, they're going to take her out.
I don't know. There's plenty of people that said no to him. Well, they ended up bending the knee anyway and taking it. So that's. I mean, if she's a forever no.
Many artists have been inducted in their absence or after their death, and in 2006, the Sex Pistols became Hall of Famers despite rejecting their induction.
Yeah.
So maybe she's going to go in anyway, but she doesn't want to, and she won't show up for it.
Right.
She
definitely deserves to have some recognition. My gosh,
she does.
Awesome.
And she's 90 now, so she's been around a while.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool, but for some reason. Also, Dolly Parton last year said she removed her name, though, before they put her in, which I appreciate from Dolly Parton because she's not a rocker, okay? She belongs in the Country Hall of Fame.
Which she is.
But not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And she knows.
Come on now. And she knew that.
Yeah, she knows
and
that.
Good for her. Good for her.
Dolly Parton. They need her more than she needs them. I'll tell you that.
That's for sure. All right. You've heard us talk about this, and for good reason. Share the Arrows. It's one of the most powerful women's events happening this year, and it's hosted by BlazeTV's own Allie Beth Stuckey. It's happening on October 11th here in Dallas. And if there's a woman in your life who's been craving real encouragement and biblical truth, your wife, your daughter, your sister, this is for her. It's a full day of worship, teaching, and powerful conversation with bold women like Ginger Duggar, Voila, Alisa Childers, Taylor Dukes, and lots more. Jeffy knows all these women, right? I mean, these are some of your biggest heroes.
Powerful
right there.
Women right there.
Francesca Battistelli. I mean, how much have you talked about Francesca? I'm tired of hearing about it, frankly. It's a special day, though, and we all know how loud the culture can get. This is a chance to push pause, lean into truth, and get recentered in purpose. Send someone you love or go yourself. Tickets and details are at sharethearrows.com. And yes, VIP options are still available. Sharethearrows.com.
Okay, see?
Yeah. What?
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
I don't understand.
I was looking at they were giving a new profile of the B-52 stealth bombers.
Yeah, it is so thin. I don't understand how that massive bomb fits in it.
You know how many times I've heard that about me?
I don't.
I can't tell you.
That you're so thin. How does all the food fit in you? Is that what a lot of people wonder? Because
they're big. It's bigger than you think. It's bigger than you think. Okay,
that I believe.
You've had to say that many times.
Oh, that's definitely the story of my life. There's no question.
But the 30,000-pound bomb. That is the only thing that can deliver it. Is this thin? It looks like it's of an inch thick.
It does. It does look that way.
It must be. That must be very deceptive.
Yes.
Because there's no way that thing looks like. I mean, they're showing a photo of it right now.
Have you seen them fly over you or at
a B-2?
air
I don't
shows or
think
whatever?
so.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
They're monstrous.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, they're certainly wide and fairly long, but so thin though. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It
Anyway,
is.
they dropped 14 of those things on Iran over the weekend. So
Midnight Hammer.
It's clearly capable of doing that. Some other big things happening in the country, like getting illegal aliens out of the country. We got Tom Homan here talking about illegals that are roaming free.
You're saying you have 2 million migrants right now. They've either gotten due process where a judge has already said, you're out. They've been ordered deported, or they're criminals. They've been convicted of a crime. That's who the Democrats say they want to get out of here. So 2 million already right now, they're supposed to be gone.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's what we're trying to do. We will continue to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats, but without additional funding, without passing that big, beautiful bill, there's going to be less of it. I think every American wants safer streets, and we need that bill passed to make these streets even safer.
Wow. And, a lot of people are screaming, well, there's nobody to do the jobs anymore because they got rid of all the illegals.
Right.
There was a raid on a meatpacking plant in Nebraska that caused a surge in job applications following the apprehension of 76 employees who were detained and removed from the premises by federal employees last week. After just a few days, a dozen illegal workers had already been removed from the state or deported, while more than 60 were taken to a detention center. So what happened then?
More illegals showed up.
No.
Oh.
No. Americans showed up to fill the jobs that no American will apparently do, because no American was allowed to do them before.
Right.
And now, without the illegals, who's showing up to do the job? Americans! This is what we've said will happen when you do this. When you remove the legals will fill those jobs.
Now, of course,
they don't right now because they can't.
And the companies were milking this system left and right by paying them less than what they're going to have to pay the Americans.
Exactly.
So, that's going to eat into a little profit, I guess, is their argument. But
that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? So a lot of Americans showed up. I mean, there were dozens and dozens. There were more people showed up than jobs available.
Huh.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Wait, I thought no American would do that job. And then it turns out, wait a minute, yes, they will.
Yeah, given the opportunity, yes.
How about that? Also, Democrat Representative Maxwell Frost isn't happy with these roundups.
We have ICE federal agents pulling up, terrorizing our communities, hopping out of unmarked vans, stealing and, yes, kidnapping people.
Oh, stop
not giving
it.
them their day in court,
That is not
and,
kidnapping.
Yes, human trafficking them from other nations,
stop.
other countries around the entire world.
I can't.
Was that Colbert's show?
Yeah.
I figures.
I believe so.
That's what they looked like. That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Boy, that's what I want to see in my nighttime shows.
Yeah, isn't it though? Yeah. 11:30 at night or whatever this bonehead comes on.
Actually, I have no idea.
I don't either. But is that what you want to be entertained with
so.
at the end of the day? I don't think so. But wow, kidnapping, human trafficking. What other incendiary term can you throw in there to describe a federal law enforcement agent? Racketeering. Okay,
I'm gonna do that.
Right. That is despicable. But that's what they're doing to ICE agents, and that's why they're in danger. That's why they're forced into wearing masks so they don't get doxxed and people don't show up at their homes in the middle of the night.
Because guys like that, would definitely,
gosh, yes.
tell you who they were.
Absolutely. On Friday, J.D. Vance misspoke when he was referring to, man, did they ever go nuts over this? He was talking about Democrat Senator Alex Padilla. He was the guy who crashed the Kristi Noem press conference a week ago. He called him Jose.
What?
Oh, my. Yeah. Oh, the humanity.
What's his name?
Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping Jose Padilla would be here to ask a question, but unfortunately, I guess he decided not to show up because there wasn't the theater, and that's all it is.
Listen to CNN. Listen to CNN.
That's what this is. It's pure political theater.
That is
Of course,
awesome.
the vice president said Jose Padilla raised some questions there. We did just hear from a Vance spokesperson a few moments ago who said, quote, he must have mixed up two people who have broken the law.
Thank you.
Response.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's an awesome response by his people.
So he called him Jose when his name is Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And like you said, that
gosh.
was a big deal.
He needs to be impeached.
Yeah.
Get him out.
Don't give him any ideas.
Unreal.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, Padilla had to react to Vance's error.
Just want to say some things here. Vice President J.D. Vance served with you in the Senate for multiple years. He is currently the president of the Senate where you served. He also went to Yale. I assume that he knows your name is Alex Padilla. Your response to him calling you Jose?
Oh, he knows my name. He knows my name.
No, he
sadly, it's just an indicator of how petty and unserious
is that what it is?
This administration is.
Oh, crap. He's going to
He's
cry
the Vice
again.
President of the United States. You think he'd take
crybaby needs to go home.
the
Yes, he does.
situation in Los Angeles more seriously? You think maybe he'd take a moment to talk to some of the families who have been impacted, have been terrorized, to feel what's really going on the ground. You saw him shaking hands with Marines, but did he listen to the Marines? Because we have, report after report of the Marines, so many of the Marines themselves that don't want to be there.
What?
That's not why they enlisted.
What?
Gosh,
what are you talking about?
Wait.
I saw where he also says that he was invited to the event where he presumably stormed the state. We hollered questions.
Yeah.
He's trying to backtrack on that, saying that he was invited there. He didn't just show up. And they're just trying to rewrite the history on that whole thing.
If that's true,
Of course.
you still have to, show some decorum and manners.
Right.
Wait your turn. And
Right.
don't lunge at the Secretary of Homeland Security.
And perhaps you let people know, who you are.
Right.
Because we don't know exactly who you are, Jose. Sorry.
How dare you?
Sorry.
I love the memes.
How
Is that his
dare
dad's
you
name?
know his name?
Is that his dad's name?
I don't know.
Because I read a story this weekend, and I
don't know
it's
his
true,
dad's
so
name.
I'm just passing. This is secondhand gossip.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true. But I read a story this weekend that his parents came to this country illegally. And then they're legal now.
Okay.
But they did originally come here illegally.
Okay.
So
So Alex Jose is an anchor baby.
Yes.
Okay.
So I read
Interesting.
this weekend.
I love the
I don't know if
memes
it's true.
going around that say, it used to be J.D. Vance, I don't really care, Margaret. Now it's I don't really care, Jose. So good.
That's funny.
Let's bring in the AI babies.
Oh, yeah!
For Senator Padilla. Bob,
forced
Frank,
to the
Padilla.
ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest. And as I was handcuffed,
This is brilliant.
and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained?
Repeatedly asking, why?
That's really good.
Oh, that
is
might
really
be the
good.
best one of
That's
all time.
really good. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Who
did that one? Is that
our people?
Green
I
Frogs
don't know.
people?
Oh, I don't know.
So
really
good.
funny.
So good.
Really funny.
Really? Well, I got to see that one more time. That was just plain fun. This is just good, clean fun right here.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees.
On my knees.
And then flat on my chest.
So good.
And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained?
So you said that's the best one.
That's pretty good.
Did we play? I was looking to see. Did we play last week the Ted Cruz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better than that one?
I like it better than that one. But that one's pretty good too, though. That's great.
Ted Cruz and Tucker.
But I love them. I love them all.
I know.
But that one that's priceless.
So we're not done with them yet.
No,
by any stretch.
No. I think Jeffy's coming around to him.
Oh,
now.
well, I like that. I mean, it's funny is funny.
I appreciate high quality.
All right. So what is the what's inside the Oregon House of Representatives?
Oh yeah, I want you to see this and see if compare this to
Working
the
for
Hank
the
Johnson song, and you see which one you think is better artistically.
Okay.
Okay. This is an interpretive dance, officially a part of the session there at the old Oregon State House.
Nice.
All right. Look, huh? Okay, which is better? Hank Johnson or this?
Good golly.
I mean, this is the fall of Rome right here. What are we doing? And look at the representatives acting like they're into it. Yes, this is so much culture. So beautiful. So brave. Oh, what is happening there? Stunning. Happy Pride Month.
That's pretty good.
I don't even know what to say to that. It's
Happy Pride Month, I guess.
So bad.
Whoa.
Wow.
Bad?
Yeah. Very.
Look at this guy.
What is this supposed to do for the...
Well, they're guests of a specific representative. It says there at the bottom, guest of Representative Nelson.
Ooh.
And it's...
Why?
We're doing an
Just getting the day started, working for the people in Oregon.
Just getting ready for drag legislation. Is that what that's about?
Some legislatures open their sessions with prayer. Some with interpretive dance from a rainbow warrior.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Hank Johnson.
No.
Okay.
What is? What is? So you think the Hank is better than the interpretive dance?
I don't know.
With some thoughts about that old song, Hey Joe.
Hey Joe. Yeah.
You know,
hit it.
To give some
Kick it one
commentary
time.
on where we are now.
Right. Here we go. That's so
You
good.
say there's an app
Hey.
that somebody could use
There's
to
an app.
tune a guitar.
To tune the guitar.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I promise I've used it. All right. We'll see you on overtime and then right back here tomorrow morning.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.